Immaculate. You hear me, right?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, we're live on Facebook. We're live on Facebook. Yes. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Talk to Me Africa, the spotlight.
Thank you so much for having me here.
Immaculate Akwanga, you go by Ima, or where my classmate back at the University of Boya.
Right.
We both studied journalism and mass communication.
Yeah.
So no doubt we're talking here today. It's a spotlight. Welcome, welcome.
Thank you so much. And thank you for having me here. It's really an honor to be talking to you, the incredible Mabel. I've been watching you all this while. I've looked at your programs and I've been so excited and so proud that, oh, that's my classmate.
So I am. Yes. And you're joining me from Europe.
I am.
Precisely the Netherlands. I'm in California, yes. So thanks to as the NO did say that the world is becoming a global village, and today we are able to connect wherever we are. So thank you so much for coming on the show today. So we will be talking. I love that. I love your YouTube channel. I love what you do. I love the tips you give.
Yeah.
It's so informative. So on Talk to Me Africa platform, I like to bring information to Africans, anything that can help us, because especially those of us out in the diaspora, we need a lot of information. Right. So besides being my classmate back in the day at university.
Yeah, there was a breakage in the connection. I don't know. I didn't write quite.
Yeah, if somebody asks you that, who is Immaculate Akwanga? Well,
yeah. Well, there's not much to say about me, to be honest.
Yeah, answer B.
Yeah, there's not much to say about me. I'm Immaculate Akwanga. Everybody knows me by name Ima. I'm a Bangwa girl, proudly Bangwa. I grew up I was born and brought up in Fontem, a tiny village in Lebialem division in the Southwest province. I schooled there. Then I went to school in the boarding school, the only boarding school in Fontem, Seat of Wisdom College. I don't know if you know about Seat of Wisdom College. It's one of the prominent ones in Cameroon, actually.
I have heard of it, yes.
All right. I spent 5 years there. From there, I went to the government bilingual high school in the village. And after that, we met in UB. I came straight to UB to do GMC. And from GMC, the dream was to be a journalist. The dream was to conquer the world, you know, young minds to get that dream job, to get that dream job after school. But, you know, after school, the real struggle of the real world set in. And it took years upon years for me to finally get a job as a journalist, and which was an exciting time. The struggle was real, but at the end of the day, I got the job that I really, really wanted. And after that, I moved. I got this opportunity to move to the Netherlands, to Europe for studies, for further studies. And from there, I moved to the Netherlands, and I've been here ever since in the Netherlands.
Wow. Where did you practice journalism, though? I was at the radio in Cameroon, Ocean City Radio. What did you practice after school?
Yeah, after school, it took me a while. I hustled here and there, put applications here and there. I tried to work as a public relations officer. It didn't work. I was never really caught up. I tried to work as a communication officer in different companies. It was not possible. So I finally had this opportunity to work at a radio station in Aqua. And I created this program called Gospel. It was like a gospel program every Sunday morning, you know, gospel reflections. It went for a month, and the dynamics of the radio was not what I wanted. So I left, and I also had some personal issues to deal with. I left and I went back, and I finally got this opportunity at Le Fort Camerounais. I don't know if you know Le Fort Camerounais, at Macacos, and that's where I really practiced my journalism for I think 1.5 years before leaving for Europe.
Yeah, I mean, excellent. I think I got my break right there after school, and it was so good to practice what we had studied. And at that time too, Cameroon had just been, you know, allowed to have private radio stations. So it was really, really a good thing. And thank you to all those people who and practice what we have been learning in school. But today we want to talk about the unstoppable immigrant. Tell us about your YouTube channel a little bit. Why did you start this channel?
Yes.
And why do you talk about the unstoppable
Yes.
immigrant? Like you are an
Yeah.
immigrant as well.
Yeah, I am an immigrant. Yeah. Unstoppable migrant. The name is the Unstoppable Migrant. You
Unstoppable
know,
migrant.
yes, the idea of this YouTube channel came back in 2016. It's been a long time coming, but I really didn't know what I was doing, I couldn't figure out what I wanted to share. I knew I had a lot of information to share, but I didn't know how to share it. And the confidence was not there to sit in front of, in front of the screen and talk to people, whether live or recorded. And I was in a place where my confidence level had really dropped due to the things that I went through as a migrant, personal issues,
Needed some
I knew
boosting.
for sure that I wanted people to know certain things in life, things that migrants go through, information that could help them to develop themselves in a way. But I just didn't know how to do that. And I kept saying to myself, I'm going to do this one day. Until 2020, actually, when COVID came in and gave us the opportunity to really reflect on so many things, it gave me that chance to think about a lot of things. And creating this channel was one of those things. And I thought to myself, what name can I give here? I'm on a personal journey of confidence and I'm trying to be unstoppable. So I am a migrant and I want to be unstoppable. I've reached the point where I'm actually almost unstoppable. So I think the perfect name will be the Unstoppable Migrant. Being unstoppable doesn't mean that you've reached your end game. You are still on a road climbing up. And I want to motivate people to know that they don't have to remain down there. They can also move on and become unstoppable. So that's where the whole idea came up, and that's what I'm doing.
You can also climb, yeah.
Yeah, it's all about uplifting people. Yeah.
Let's talk about some of the videos you've made so far. You've made videos on interviews, types of interview questions, how to answer the interview questions. We as migrants, immigrants, what are you looking for? You have to go through an interview process. And I have really listened to your interview tips and I love them. It can help somebody who's watching right now. So pick a video. Let's talk about one of them. The one I remember especially is, why do you want this job? Yeah, I came to America, I need a job. But if the interviewee or the interviewer asks you, why do you want this job?
Yes.
What should we say?
Yeah. First of all, an interview is part of the job process, and an interview is the most important part of the job process, actually. And in sharing those videos, I bring out my personal stories, my personal experiences, what I've gone through as a migrant, looking for a job, both back home and here in the diaspora. And it came to a point where I realized that for you to even get into the job interview process, you have a lot to put in. You have to prepare so much. You have to know about the company. You have to know about your competencies and your skills. So when someone asks you, why do you want this job? Or why should I give you this job? Or why should you be offered this job?
Yeah.
It is your opportunity to sell yourself, to sell your skills, to sell your competencies, to say, I am good at this. I am capable of bringing these values into your company. I have done this and this and this. I have such experiences. My experiences mostly are in customer service and in print journalism. And that's where I've really prospered. Like those are the experiences that I use when I'm going for a job interview. I'm good at writing. I'm good at communicating. I'm good at listening. And I'm a good team player. So you want to bring in those skills and competencies, the experiences that you've had, your educational qualification, and just your personality as an individual. What do you have to offer? What will the company gain from employing you? What additional value are you bringing into the company, which is different from other candidates that are applying for the position? So you have to sell yourself uniquely. You have to say what you want. You are a multicultural. First of all, you are a migrant. You have migrated from your country, which means you are capable of anything. You can withstand pressure. You can work in a multicultural company, in a multicultural environment. You can withstand change, right? Because every company goes through a change process. So they don't want somebody who will come in and will not be able to embrace change. If something happens in the company, you want to be somebody who is flexible, somebody who
adapt to the changes.
Yes, somebody who can adapt to changes, somebody who's able to resolve issues within the team. So basically, you want to sell yourself. Every job interview question is an opportunity for you to sell yourself, but it just depends on how you answer the question.
It's different, yeah.
And each question has to be adaptable to the job description and the company values and the company's profile, basically.
That tells me that before you go for a job interview, you have to do a research on the company before you even go for the interview.
Oh, yes. Really, really deep research, because you don't want to go and sit in a job interview and you're being asked a question and you don't even know what company you are interviewing for. You don't even know what products and services the company offers. And the worst thing actually would be for you to ask the interviewer what your company does or what type of company is this. That would be like the worst case scenario, and that would be the end of your interview journey, really.
So for migrants, I know that disclaimer here, but I know that certain cases in Africa, in Cameroon, where I come from, where you and I come from, people have connections to get a job. You'd be like, your dad is the minister, and then his friend is the governor, and then there's a name that goes around the office, and boom, you have a job. So I'm going to go through interviews in general. What is the importance of these job interviews? Do they give you a preset of what to expect for that company, or do they just help the employer know who they are hiring?
Yeah, the good thing about going for job search in the diaspora is the level of transparency that exists, unlike back home. Even when you look at job descriptions, everything is laid out there. You are being told what to expect at the job that you're going to do, and you are being told the type of skills that are expected of you. So when applying for the job, you already know that you are capable of doing this, providing these skills that are being asked by the company. So basically, they want to know how you are able to express yourself, whether the skills that are being written down is actually what you possess. That's why it's really important for you to be honest, for you to be yourself, because you don't want to go and sit in front of a hiring manager and say something that you rehearsed from the job description, because from there you are going to be asked questions, and you should be able to answer follow-up questions that come from what you express about yourself. So it's just one step higher in terms of their transparency when it comes to just job search and looking for the right candidate. There's nothing like, so far as from my own experience, there's nothing like connections or networking in terms of job interviews or looking for jobs in the diaspora.
They could be.
They could be.
You go through the process. People could refer you like she's good at this, but she still has to go through a job interview process.
Yes. For example, if you are on a platform such as LinkedIn, you have connections on LinkedIn, and you have connections with friends that colleagues from school, colleagues from jobs, but you also have connections with job agencies. And these job agencies can actually recommend you for a job or to this company, but the company will call you up and invite you for an interview. You still have to go through the interview process. There's no way you skip an interview process and go straight to the job.
And talk to you.
Yeah.
Because the HR is going to be looking at you and seeing how did you get to this position without the interview process. So tell us a little bit more about your personal journey in searching for a job, because you talk about it a lot on your YouTube channel.
My
channel and the things that you've done
my job search journey doesn't even start today. It starts right from back home after school. Like I said, the dream.
Now we used to carry the folder, we call them curriculum vitae, in the file, and you're walking around with it and dropping it up at places.
Girl, I sent about 1,000 applications back home. Trust me, I was pumped when I left school. I had this idea that I would just leave school and there will be a job out there waiting for me. I didn't know the realities of life. With your young mind, you are in school, you work so hard, and you are dreaming about that job in that office, And I reached out, and it hit me that life is different.
And we're from that background.
And I was looking for a job in Douala. We are migrants. All of us are migrants. You migrate from one place to another. We left Boya and went down to Douala to look for a job because that's where the jobs are. And being an Anglophone, what we face in Douala, Be an Anglophone who doesn't even speak French very well. My French was not that good. And being an
French become
Anglophone, first of all, I faced a lot of discrimination. I faced a lot of, rejections from one company to another, from gate people, from secretaries. I sent applications upon applications. I went through processes that I could not believe that I would go through. And it reached a point where that I just gave up. I said, this is not it. This is not why I went to school. But something told me, Ima, there's something waiting for you out there. You have to just keep on trying. You can't stop sending those applications. I went into connections with people that I could not believe, commissioners of police, because you had to pass through network. Like you talk of networking in Cameroon. I went to a company, which is an Iranian company. And that company will only recruit you if you know the commissioner of police. So I had to, it's such a funny story. I had to look for a recommendation from the commissioner of police that I've never met.
Wow.
I passed through another person I knew as a Catholic from our Catholic church who recommended me to that commissioner of police. The commissioner of police gave me his card, and I took to that company. The company said, okay, go and do this and this. And come back in 2 weeks. I came back in 2 weeks with my computer skills, and the secretary told me I will not do that job. That job is not for me. And I was like, what? The secretary just told the Iranian guy, we don't need any more secretaries. We don't need any more workers. We have enough employers. Whoa. Yeah. And I had to start from zero. And luckily for me, I had done my internship at the Post newspaper, and I had done a really good job during my internship. And I had published a lot of stories during my internship. And through a friend at the Post, I got news that they are looking for an English-speaking journalist at L'Effort Camerounais, And Macacos is that company where I always like to work in. It was my dream to work in Macacos. It was a Catholic communication house. I wanted to work there. So I got this information, and I just quickly told this friend that, please, do you have clippings of my publishings when I was doing, working for internship? He said, yeah, we have an archive. You publish so many nice stories, so we have archives for your stories. And I told him, please, I need copies of my stories. And my problem was getting into Macacos and meeting the manager. And the manager at the time was Mr. Jumbam Martin. And I knew that come what may, I have to get into that company, because if I'm being blocked at the gate one more time, that will be the end for me. I said my prayers that evening. I told God that you have been pushing me towards this place, and I'm going into that company, and I'm going in there. And luckily for me, I
need to get it.
I need to get it. And luckily for me, and I had an old ID card from when I was doing my internship at the Post. That ID card was about 7-8 years old. I had just kept it as a memorial, some sort of. And I said to myself,
so old but necessary at that.
Yeah, I need some sort of identification. I need proof that I'm already a journalist somewhere. I knew for sure that I was lying to myself, but I needed somewhere to get into somewhere, So I went to the gate office, to the gate guy, and luckily for me, he was such a nice guy. He was a foreigner access, from the north. And I just told him I have an appointment with the manager, with Mr. Jumba. And he said, oh, when is your appointment? I said, like in 2 minutes. He said, oh, okay, you can come in. He said, okay, you can come in. And I went in, and my second hurdle had to be the secretary. That's where I had my real problems, at the gate and at the secretary. And I went there. It was just a really nice girl. I told her I have an appointment with Mr. Jumba. And she said, at what time? And she said, who are you? I said, I'm a journalist at L'Effort Cameroun, at the Post newspaper, and I showed my old ID card. And she said, okay. Oh yeah, they're looking for somebody. And I said, yeah. And the manager came out, saw me, and the secretary said, she is your appointment, sir. I said, okay, come in. And I went in. And immediately, before I even sat down, I told the manager, Mr. Jumbam, if he's listening to this, he will tell you that that's what happened. I told him, sir, I lied my way into your office. I needed this job. So I had to lie my way. I don't have an appointment with you. I don't know you. You don't know me, but I need this job. But I need this job, and I have the skills. And I told him I have the experience and I have the skills that you need for this job, and I can do this job. And he said, really? I said, yeah. He said, what I like is your honesty. Sit down and let's talk. And we had a really nice time. And I got the job at the end of the day. And honestly, that's like the best job I have had so far, really, because he was not only the best manager I had the best colleagues, and I had this amazing opportunity to start the For Cameroon head office in the Southwest province, which was such a boost in, you know, my journalistic career. And it is thanks to that that I've been able to have any type of job in Europe, actually. It's thanks to that experience. Coming to Europe as a migrant, looking for a job is a whole different story. I found myself in a whole different scenario. You know, living home with your communication job, with a good, well-paid job, what you studied in school, being excited to go out and become an international journalist, you know, those dreams that you still have pumping in you.
And you start facing the reality.
And I came to Europe. And the first thing I was told when I came here was that just put aside all those documents that you brought, Ima, because here we only do cleaning jobs. We only do odd jobs. And I was like,
I was told the same thing. Yeah.
I was like, really? I said, well, I'm going to try before I fail. I'm not going to do any cleaning job with the level of experience that I have in communication. They laughed at me. A lot of my friends just laughed at me. I said, I'm going to try, you know. And I started going from job agency to job agency. The first thing I told them, when you as a Black person come in, because there's this stigma in the society that we Blacks only do odd jobs, women only do cleaning jobs, and men only do production jobs. And it is so sad, you know, and it brings you down to such a level that you don't want to be. And I said, I'm not going to go through that. And I set my pace so high. And I said, I'm going to start with those communication things. And I went for the first interview, for the first appointment with one of the job agencies. The moment I came in, she knew that I was a student and I was looking for a job. And she said, well, are you looking for a cleaning job? I said, no, I'm looking for a communication job. She said, well, the only jobs that we have are cleaning jobs. Yeah.
Okay.
And I said, well, I'm not looking for a cleaning job. I'm looking for a communication job. I have experience in communication. I've been a journalist. I just left my journalistic work before coming here. So I'm looking for a cleaning job. For a communication job.
Selling your
yeah. And she said, I'm sorry, we don't have we only have cleaning jobs for people like you.
For people like you.
Yes. And that was my first experience with racism and with prejudice, you know. And back then
she said for people like you.
Yeah. Whoa. And it didn't even occur to me that that's what was happening. And I said I won't give up. The second place I went to, I had the same story. And I told them I want a communication job. And they told me the same story. It went on like that for 2 weeks. And I realized that I'm in Europe. I don't have my parents' support anymore. I don't have any other support. I need to take care of myself. So finally, I have to do the cleaning job. And I said to myself, if I'm doing a cleaning job, then I have to set my own race. I have to set my own pace. I have to do it my own way. You know?
It's time.
Yeah. And I just said to myself, I have to go in there. I'll be the best at what I do. I'll leave good impressions of the cleaning that I do, because at the end of the day, there may be some of the recommendations that I will need for better jobs. You know, so that followed me right up to when I left school and came to the Netherlands, where I thought I'm now settled in the Netherlands and things will be a lot easier. You know, but things were still not easy. Going looking for a job as a Black person was still the same hurdles, the same stories. You know, I had to go back to school to start a professional career, to start a professional course in Dutch. From my undergraduate, my 2 masters that I had to go back to secondary school to start a course in secondary school, just to have, you know, to know the language, to have something to start on. But finally, I had this opportunity where I was so tired of getting rejections of job offers every day.
But you're not giving up. Unstoppable indeed. Yeah.
Unstoppable indeed. And I kept sending applications and receiving, unfortunately, we can't employ you every single day. Every single day, because of your language, because we found somebody who is much skilled.
Because of your accent. Yeah.
They won't tell you straight on that is because
they won't tell you straight on because you know, it's very kind of, it's subtle discrimination. You know, we don't have a spot for you. Yeah, but you're very resilient. I like that. And a lot of immigrants face such situations. But go on. You did not give up.
A lot of us. And I just stood there and I said to myself, first of all, I've given up my journalistic career because I'm starting a family. I'm in a different country. This is not what I wanted to do. Secondly, I'm going into a career where I know nothing about, and I'm still being rejected. This should not be, this is not how it was supposed to be, you know? And by then, yeah, I had given up so much. The studies that I did in Belgium was not giving me anything. You know, I wanted to work for the local communities, to work in developmental organizations, and I gave that up. I gave my career, and this was not giving me any light. And I said, I'm not going to give up. And I just said, they're rejecting me because I don't know Dutch. There are no English speaking jobs because I have an accent. They want a native English speaker. We are not considered native English speakers, even though we went to school in English. We went to school all our lives in English language, you know. And I said,
even though you speak English.
Even though I speak English. And I said, okay, I know one other language. I know French. I can speak French. So why not target French as the main language of communication in the jobs that you're looking for?
You're right.
And that's what I started doing. I started looking for jobs that have French as an additional language. And I found this job.
Telling yourself in a more direct.
Yes. And suddenly I got this pop-up of a job offer looking for a French French speaker. They were looking for a French native speaker. And I just said, I'm tired of receiving rejections. I'm not going to apply. And something told me, just keep the page open on your computer. I kept it open for 3 days. The third day I said to myself, what's the harm in trying? There's no harm in trying.
Is it a yes or a no? Yeah.
Yeah, just send the application. I sent the application, and surprisingly, I was called up. Surprisingly, that is the job that launched me into whatever I am today in the Western world, you know. So it has been a struggle. It has been a struggle. Yeah, it has been a struggle, but we don't give up. We don't have to give up. We have to be unstoppable. That's the dream.
Unstoppable migrant. I really, really love that. I think I had a little bit easier talking about, you know, trying to acknowledge people who help you in the start. I got the job so easily. I was in Limbe and I heard this radio station going on Coconut Island, you know, Ocean City. I'm like, where is that radio? I was new in Limbe. Not new, but I had just finished an internship with Sonara in Limbe. So I told one of my relatives, I said, take me to Coconut Island. I don't know where it is. I hear there's a radio on there. So I got there and they said that the owner, you know, you go to, the thing about Africa is that you go to the location to look for a job. There's no application route where you apply and then they call you for an interview. You have your stuff and you take it right there with you.
It's so funny.
Which is so interesting.
Yeah.
So when is he coming back? They said today, I was there like 8 o'clock in the morning. Girl, I sat there till 3:34 when he came back. Yeah. And I was just looking at the control room and looking at what the guy was doing, Dobby Kuma. I'm like, wow, this is amazing. And I felt like this is where I belong. I want to do this. I really want to do this. So when he came back from Douala that evening and I introduced myself, and the guy was so tired. Mr. Wiswi Charles, thank him today. He was on my show recently, and I did tell him how appreciative I am of him giving that chance. He just said, well, you know, we're new here. We don't really have employees. We just have friends helping. Can you speak French? We need somebody. I said, I can speak French. And he just said, go, economy, read something. I took the magazine. I was like, okay. I mean, nervously, I read something. And he said, you know, just come back. Let's see how we can fit you in. So those things happen where you have to have connections. But when you have the resilience in you and you really want it, you keep going. You have the job, because just like you, after graduating, I don't know how many places I took my application to and never got a job. But when that one time shows up, you take it and do not forget to go back and say thank you for that opportunity, because every little thing that you do, story is very, 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 very peculiar. I like your resiliency. And recently I saw on Facebook, you had a graduation, you a master's in something. Tell us about that. How's that going to help you as the unstoppable migrant?
Yeah, not a master's, but it's a diploma. It's one step towards a dream. It's one step towards a dream of mine that I've had for a very long time. You know, when we were doing GMC, we had to look for electives. We had to do electives as well. And in my first year, I chose law. I wanted to do corporate law. I wanted to be a legal journalist. And I didn't know how much work was involved in both journalism and law. I gave up law along the way. And I knew that I needed to do an elective before I finished school. So I decided to go into educational studies as a minor. And I took one of these courses, educational psychology.
Yeah.
My goodness, what an eye opener that was. That's like one of the most interesting electives that I've ever had in my life.
As a migrant in Netherlands, you took that course?
No, that was when I was still in UB. I was still in UB. In my last year in UB.
Oh, that was back at the university in Boya. Yes, I got it.
So I already knew that I wanted to, the teacher who was teaching us that course, the lecturer was the guidance counselor of UB. And I saw the way he guided students. I saw the way he advised students. He led them to their different careers. And I said to myself, I want to do this. I want to be like this someday.
Yeah.
I like to help people. I like to motivate people. I like to see that people are being their best selves. But I just didn't know how to go about it.
Do it. Yeah.
You know, and back then, journalism was everything that I wanted. I wanted to be a journalist. I wanted nothing but to be a journalist. And my sort of journalism that I wanted to do was the type that
the one and only.
Yeah, represented the underprivileged, the voice. I wanted to be the voice of the voiceless.
The voice of the voiceless, yes.
I wasn't interested in CRTV or these big conglomerates. It was not my point of interest. I wanted some place where I'll be sent to a beat, talk to those mommies in the local communities, hear their stories.
That speaks a lot about your upbringing. You know? Yeah, humble.
Yeah,
I can tell.
And I just forgot about this guidance counselor dream or wish. I just put it at the back of my mind. It is not until I traveled to the diaspora, I studied anthropology, you know, as at my master's level. And that intrigued something in me. So it brought back the memories that I had about guidance counselorship.
Right.
Dealing with people in the community, learning about the community, learning about different how human beings interact with each other. Then I wanted to get a job. I wanted, you know, you want money. You want.
Yeah, you do. At the end of the day, that's what we're looking for, money.
So I forgot about the guidance counselor thing again. I just forgot about it.
Right.
And it is not until recently, with my experiences, everything that I've gone through as a migrant, the hurdles of being a migrant amongst white people. I'm sorry to say this, white guys, nothing against you guys, just that some white people really, you know, make you to look at yourself and doubt and ask yourself why you are Black.
You're not being racist. I don't think so, because we even have that back home as well. Culturalism. I look at you, you're Bangwa. Your last tell me you're Bakosi. I immediately start thinking differently about you. So yeah, it's inherent everywhere we go. So no need to apologize. It happens. Seriously. It happens. You know,
I went through a lot at work, in my community. You know, I went through a lot, and I discovered that I find joy when I'm helping people. And going into customer service was because there was an opportunity to help people. But along the line, I discovered that I was not getting the feel, the happiness that I wanted, even though I was helping people. I was helping people already have something, you know. I was helping people on the phone across continents. I was not helping those I really want to help, you know, and the fulfillment was not there. I got backlash from my colleagues because I was the only Black. I was, first of all, a Black team leader in a team of all white people, which is unheard of. You know, I had resistance upon resistance upon resistance. And I told myself, I need something else. I need to get back on track to where I want to go. And 2020 again was like that spotlight, that time of reflection that really brought a lot of things in perspective for me. And I realized that this is an opportunity for me to do what I really want to do. What makes me happy, to have those skills that I can use to help motivate and uplift people. You know, after going through, I would say, depression because of the job and the encounters that I had, you know, I'm going through a really dark place. And listening to you know, videos and reading stories of people dying because of depression, people becoming suicidal because of problems that they go through. I wanted to help people. I wanted to be able to motivate and uplift people, especially us migrants. We go through a lot. So I thought the best way to do it is to start by having those skills, have at least something to base my discussions or advice on. So that's what led me into this diploma, and I work really hard on it.
It's very honorable. One thing I've learned is that when you're doing a job and you don't find joy in it, then that's not what you should be doing. Let joy be your GPS. Let joy, you have to feel happy. I know that somebody might say, you know, we all just want to make money. Yes, it's okay to make money, but hours or 10 hours miserable somewhere every day, and then you go back home and then you're miserable again, and you wake up and go back to the same place. That makes you miserable. So that's a very good thing you did, finding joy in what you do.
What to do.
Yes.
I mean, it's just one step into the direction that I'm going through, but I think I'm already on the right track. And
You are.
posting that on Facebook was just a way to motivate people, because I know there are a lot of us out here who have a lot of self-doubt. We want to do things, but we are doubting ourselves. We think we have these self-defeating beliefs that we've put on our heads that is weighing us down. I just need people to understand that you need to take the first step. You can do it. You are smart. You are capable of doing it. Just take the first step. You know, remove all those doubts on you. It's difficult to do this, but you can do it. If Ima can do it, then anybody can do it. Trust me, if Ima can sit for a live Facebook show, if Ima can sit for a live Facebook show, then trust me, anybody can do anything. Anybody can do anything.
Ima, I feel like you, because before I started Talk to Me Africa, I broadcasting is my comfort zone. Communication is what I love to do. Just like you said, be on the microphone for the next 10 hours, I'll not be tired. I can handle any topic. I talked to a couple of ladies last week on sickle cell. I will put in that, producing that later. And I learned a lot. To me, being here, I'm both a teacher and a student. I'm learning a lot from my guests, and I'm also teaching the world a lot of things about Africa. So when I thought about starting this, I was like, I can't do Facebook. I can't get on video. I don't like that. But intention is what drove me to this point. What is my intention of doing this? What is it about? It's not for me, it's for somebody else. So it gives me joy to serve. So that's what I see you doing, which is really good. And for that, you can keep going without getting paid. You will love it. But guess what? The universe will pay you when you serve people.
Yeah, you know, when I started this YouTube channel, never in my wildest dream did I even think that I'll have one subscriber. Like, I just said, I'm doing it to reach one person. If I can just reach one person, if my message can reach one person and uplift that one person,
then your job is done.
Then my job is done. And I'm surprised that I have more than 10 subscribers. I have 8.
Even if it's 2, even if it's 2. And you should know that people watch your video without subscribing. People do watch without subscribing.
They do,
yeah. But we hope to have more people who are committed to the channel. And trust me, I have gone through your channels, and I just I found out you went to Fontaine, the school in Fontaine, when I was looking at one of your videos. I'm like, did she go to that school for real? Like, learning things about you.
That's where I was brought up. That village is in my heart.
It's in your heart. And I see you doing good things for them, because the GSM guys were in. And now let's talk about you sitting right there. Your head, no hair on it. I saw a video you post on Facebook about a chat with Mrs. Hair. And I mean, like, believe it or not, it inspired me, because I'm like, I like that. I like to be natural. I feel more comfortable when I have my African look on. I could wear the wigs, that's for sure, but I'll never compete with the person who has a real hair, which is the real silky hair. What made you do that video? Besides what made you cut your hair? What made you become so public about that conversation with Mrs. Hair? Tell us about that.
It's such a coincidence, you know, one of those things that you are being inspired on the spot. You know, I've had such a turbulent relationship with Mrs. Hair. I've done everything possible to please Mrs. Hair, and she won't just let me be. I've done everything. I've treated her right. I've listened to her. I've been a good girl. But Mrs. Hair said, no, Ima, I'm tired of you. And I said, you know what, Mrs. Hair, I don't need you. You know, I don't need you. I need some peace of mind. I just told her, please, I need some freedom for a while. I need some peace of mind. I need you gone. Like, leave me. I need some separation from you. Let's separate temporarily. Let's sort our things, our differences out apart, you know. And, you know, like I said, I'm on a confidence building journey. Self-motivation. Self-motivation. I'm really like discovering myself again. And I've never really liked wigs. If you ask my mom, she would tell you when grafts started back home, the first time she put a graft on my hair, I told her, Mom, I hate this. It makes me look different. I don't like this. And it was always a struggle. I like braids. I like my natural hair, but wigs was never really something that was mine. But it comes a point in time when you have to be a woman. You have to wear wigs. You have to abide to what the society wants.
My friends call it 911 when the hair is so bad and you have to go somewhere real quick. You got 911 and you just adjust it.
Exactly. Oh my God. Yeah, like, I don't even know how to choose wigs. The wig that I wear are wigs that I've gotten recently. I always like to be my natural self. But then you find yourself in a society where the society demands you to be a certain way, you know,
exactly.
and you're obliged to the demands of the society. And before you know it, it changes you as a person. It changes your personality. It changes your outlook. And it reaches a point where we forget ourselves. We forget where we are.
Right.
You know? And that video that I made was a, you know, impromptu sort of video. Yeah. I had shaved my hair. I was so tired of the hair. And I told Mrs. Hey, you know what? I'm done with you. It's over. It's over. And I just went to the bathroom and I held my phone and something inspired me to have a conversation with this hair.
Before cutting it?
Yeah. No, after cutting it, I told her, you know
after,
what?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? I'm done. You've been nice. You were nice for a while, but most of the time you gave me so much headache. I need to have some peace of mind. And in saying that, while I started videotaping, something told me this is actually a message that you can send to some people.
Right.
Because if you are speaking to Mrs. Hare, but you are addressing a larger crowd. You know, because there are so many people caught up in societal demand that they forget themselves, they get lost. I've seen a video of a lady who wears eyelashes and she can't even walk in the wind. And I'm asking myself, what are you serious? Like, what
society is obliging us, yeah, and we're following.
I've seen people who put on so much makeup that you look at the person and you're like, you think twice.
Is that Ima?
Yeah, exactly. You see people putting on wigs and transforming themselves, and you ask yourself, why can't you just be yourself?
Yeah.
Why are you lying to yourself? Because that's you lying to yourself. You are lying that you are this person when you're not. Let society accept you for who you are. You know, portray your true self. Let society know that this is Ima, so that when next you act a certain way, they'll know that no, this is how Ima is.
Something that's not Ima.
Yeah, that's not Ima. Something must have gone wrong. That's not who Ima is, or that is who Ima is. So that's what inspired me. And I thought some people need to listen to this message. I did that, and I listened to it over and over about 10 times to convince myself that it is worth publishing.
Yes.
And it's a 2-part video. The second one was when I was in teaching, I just felt good and I was just tapping on my hair and I started singing. And I just started singing and I just got inspired and I just started singing. And as I was singing, words started coming out, you know, out of nowhere.
Yeah, because I saw that.
What I was singing, I'll tell you, I really can't tell because that was like in the spot of the moment. And I played it back several times and I said, you know what, somebody needs to listen to this. I think it is going to inspire somebody.
It has.
And I put it on Facebook and I got the comments that I got and I was like, wow, okay. Then I should put it on my channel then.
Yes.
And you know, that video got more views than videos that I've sat down and taken time
to teach people.
And I'm just happy that I'm able to at least use my voice to motivate one person or two people at a time, you know, because I think that's my purpose in this life. That's what I was born to do. I'm just still trying to look at the different skills, to adapt skills to do it the right way. But that's what makes me happy, really.
Use your voice. Remember, they told us at the journalism school that the media is the fourth estate. You have to speak up. You really have to speak up. Ima, I don't know what else to say, but it's been a pleasure to have you on my platform today. Keep doing what you're doing. Your wig, and Ima doesn't feel comfortable transforming herself with the wigs. That's her. If you feel you want to do that, that's fine. So don't come and say that, hey, we're here trying to say girls should not wear wigs. We're not saying that.
No,
we're saying that we want to be ourselves.
That's not what Ima is saying at all. Ima is just trying to spread a message of being authentic. We are Africans. We are not white
Yes.
people. We are Black sub-Saharan Africans. We should be able to
Kinky hair.
kinky hair. We should be able to embrace our roots. We should be able to love ourselves. And especially if you are a mom, you should be able to send that message to your daughter. You have to set an example for your daughter.
Yeah, there's a lot of struggle with our kids today about their looks, about their skin color. That's going to be a whole topic of itself here on this platform, because a lot of young girls, you've seen experiments where you have two Barbies, the light skin and the dark skin one, and you ask a dark skinned little girl which one is prettier, they always go for the lighter skin one. Or which one is a bad doll, they go to the darker skin one. Because why do we think that this melanin is bad?
Exactly. It's such a pity. And it starts from us parents at home. We have to educate our kids. We have to raise our kids in confidence. And that's just what I'm trying to. I have a daughter, so it means a lot, you know, especially to her. When she sees me this way, she's like, oh, mommy, you look good. You know, it motivates her because she's on a natural hair journey as well as myself. And it keeps her really motivated, and it makes her to love who she is more every single day. And I'm just motivating mothers out there to try to be more natural, to embrace who you are, you know, and to be authentic and honest. I always talk
and this
about
is how we're brought up back in Cameroon. Back in Cameroon, primary school, secondary school, you had no hair.
You had no
hair.
We
were so confident.
Yeah.
But as you get older, you think that you need to have the long hair to attract men or to look beautiful. You don't have to.
Yeah, you don't have to. You don't have to.
Yeah.
You have to be confident. You have to be competent.
Yes.
Competent, confidence, and and believe in yourself.
Believe in yourself.
Yeah.
Well, the unstoppable migrant, Ima Akwanga, thank you so much for coming on Talk to Me Africa, the spotlight. I hope that we can come back and talk about some other topic another time. I really loved having you here today. Thank you.
It was such a pleasure to be here, you know, and I'm so grateful that I had the opportunity to be at Talk to Me Africa.
Thank you.
It's such an honor to be talking to my classmate. We did journalism.
I know. Catching up again. I saw you shot an interview with George Ngwa. I had him on the show, and I shared it. And you know, Josh contacted me actually. He's the one who reached out to me on Facebook, and I was so happy. I said, "Oh my God!" He always reaches out to his students all the time. So, George, if you're listening, we love you.
If you're listening, sir, we love you so much.
Well, Ima, I think we should stop the Facebook Live today. So I will see you another time.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank
it was such
you.
a pleasure.